What happens when you're threatened? This is the week in John's gospel where we see the death warrant issued for Jesus. He's raised Lazarus from the dead, which has sparked all kinds of controversy, with many, many Jews coming to faith to believe that Jesus is in fact the Messiah. There's an energy that's building, so much so that the chief council of Jewish leaders, the Sanhedrin, gathers together and says, what do we do about this person? I'd like to read from you from John 11, verse 47. What are we accomplishing? They asked. Here is this man performing many signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him. And then the Romans will come and take away both our temple and our nation. We have a couple things to look at. Jesus is legit. There are eyewitness accounts to the resurrection miracle he's just performed, not to mention all of the ones he's done before this. People are coming to faith in him. They're questioning the Jewish establishment, the law, all of these things that had been so sacred and secure. Remember, all of Israel was under Roman occupation at the time. So any Jewish leaders were there by permission of the Roman government. So if you're a leader and you can't keep the peace of your own people, the ruling power is going to come in and oust you. It says they'll come and take away both our temple and our nation. And also, by the way, our power. The temple was important to them because that's where they believed the presence of God dwelt. It was the place of their history. It's their belonging, and it's where God's Spirit lived on earth. And the nation, well, that's what made them secure, a firm identity where God could do his work, in theory, to bless the surrounding nations. That's not what we see them doing. They're not living out their calling at the time of Jesus. But the leaders say, no, this man is such a threat to our power and our stability, to the status quo. We got to do something. I want to give you a thought this morning as we kick off the week. I see the same thing in me that I see in these religious leaders. When their power is threatened, their instinct is to crush the threat. Similarly, when my power, my authority, what I want to happen in the world is threatened, whether it's like something that's happening in government or in the larger world, or as simple as like my toddler doesn't want to eat what I serve them for dinner, I want to crush the threat. And I want to dominate. I want my way to go first. And that's why they're trying to kill Jesus, because he's a threat to their power and their stability. In just a few chapters, we'll see how Jesus responds when his power is threatened. When Jesus' power is threatened, all the way to his very life, he lays it down. He doesn't cling to power knowing that his power is from God and God will have his way in the end, but he yields. He forgives. He moves towards the oppressor. He forgives them and enters a relationship. And because of that, all kinds of things are possible. When you change the rules of the game and you're no longer about dominating and having your own way and preserving your power and security, new horizons are opened. When Jesus actually forgives his enemy and tells us to do the same, there's wholeness and healing and reconciliation. There's not a winner and a loser. Everybody actually wins in that space. So my question for you this morning as we kick off this week's reading is, what's threatening to your power? And how will you respond to the threat? These guys, as we'll see in the next couple days and weeks, are about to make a huge mistake, but it's not a mistake for God. Even this catastrophic mistake that's about to happen before our eyes in Scripture was planned for and held together in God's eyes. And for me, that's a comfort, knowing that God is carrying our stories, even the hardest, darkest moments, and he will indeed work all things together for the good of those who love him.